The old man dug out a huge wooden box in the backyard. He was convinced that the box contained gold, so he tied the box to the car with an iron chain and stepped on the accelerator to drag the heavy container out from underground. The heavy, wooden box nearly crushed him. He exerted all his efforts and finally dragged the box into the basement. He couldn't wait to take out the toolbox, held a crowbar in his hand and tried hard to pry open the box cover. After a long struggle, the wooden box was finally pried open. After turning on the light, the old man was stunned. There was no gold in the box, only dark brown soil and white bones. He refused to give up and manually dug through the soil to continue searching, but over and over again, there were only long white bones. Just when he was filled with despair, he touched a soft object. When he held it in his hand, he found it was a still beating living heart. The old man was greatly shocked. A heart that had been buried for hundreds of years was still beating. He couldn't help feeling greedy. If he could transplant this heart into his body, he could gain immortality. Thinking of this, he was extremely excited. But at this moment, the heart suddenly beat violently, frightening the old man. He hurriedly reached out to press it, but the heart firmly adhered to his palm and even oozed thick and sticky liquid. Before the old man could react, the heart suddenly bounced up and entered his mouth, sliding down his throat into his body. His neck instantly swelled and deformed. In just a few seconds, it was completely parasitized in his body. The old man thus had a strange heart that could live forever. The power in his body burst forth and even frightened himself. A few meters away, a dog could clearly hear the beating sound of his heart. After getting up, a strong hunger swept over him. He immediately opened the refrigerator to look for food and grabbed a cabbage to chew greedily, but he found that the vegetarian food could no longer satisfy his desires. He then picked up a large piece of raw meat and crazily swallowed it. The dozen kilograms of fresh meat were quickly eaten up. The food in the refrigerator barely filled his empty stomach. When it was time for the lecture, after being full, the old man went to the classroom to give a lecture to the students. He emitted a strong pungent smell, which made the students around him laugh. The old man, however, didn't care. He just felt an unbearable itch all over his body. No matter how he scratched, it couldn't relieve the discomfort. The students all thought he had contracted a strange disease. He endured the strange feeling to maintain his dignity and picked up the chalk to continue teaching. His body, however, uncontrollably trembled violently. The hand holding the chalk kept drawing circles. The strange appearance once again caused a round of laughter. Just then, he suddenly drew a heart with the chalk on the blackboard. Immediately, a large amount of thick liquid gushed out from his mouth. He held on for a few more minutes before he couldn't bear it any longer. His strange behavior left the students completely bewildered, unable to understand what was wrong with the professor. When he returned home, he once again went crazy and started eating raw meat. The usually docile puppy kept barking wildly at him, as if sensing the strange thing lurking in the owner's body. However, the old man only focused on chewing on chicken legs. After finishing a bucket, he was still not satisfied and was about to open the refrigerator to get more meat. Suddenly, a strange movement was felt in his abdomen. A black, slender tentacle emerged from the flesh. He hurriedly reached out to grab it, but the tentacle was slippery and could not be grasped. In anger, he tightly clutched the tentacle with both hands, and used a pair of scissors to cut it off. The severed tentacle continued to twist uncontrollably. The old man simply smashed the severed limb onto the ground. The puppy beside him approached to observe, but the owner was already extremely hungry and thirsty, and the refrigerator had no fresh meat left to satisfy his hunger. The puppy sensed the danger and turned to run away, but ultimately failed to escape. The next day, the old man went to the classroom as usual, his mind in a daze, his vision blurred, and he was unable to teach normally. Students repeatedly persuaded him to go to the hospital for a checkup. The stubborn old man insisted on continuing the lecture. After a while, he spat out a large amount of saliva and regurgitated the fresh meat he had just eaten. The hunger in his abdomen returned, and the foreign object inside him was restless. A female student kindly came to check on his condition, but he punched her several meters away, and then knelt down in great pain. The other students saw this and hurriedly scattered and fled. The old man's body suddenly changed. Several sharp tentacles pierced through his back and shot out.